That sound means you're back on the air with the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon. We have been talking to superstars in the industry, driving brands like Hooters, plus QSR Magazine's pick for one of those under 35 poised to become the next generation of influential quick service and fast casual leaders. That sets us all up to talk about now the reality of the restaurant business when it comes to leadership skills. Okay, Eric, lay it on the line. Can most people go from venture capitalist to control over acquiring a brand like Hooters?
I'll tell you what, Robin, I think the Hooters story is an amazing one, but I think what I took away from it is that it started with a foundation of mentorship, personal relationship between today's guest, Mike Pruitt, and the original founder, Mr. Brooks. I think it's important not to overlook just how small this industry is, but it becomes a developing relationship. But we're doing business with people today that have known and seen circled through different concepts year after year.
Yeah, we've said that many times, that this industry, for as large as it is really just a super small community. We've seen regional managers that we worked with 10 years ago that are now launching concepts of their own, franchise consultants that are now franchise presidents. We've also seen those with great concepts that have failed pop back up in new ventures that are promising and exciting. And I'll tell you one thing that Mike Pruitt said on the show. I love the baseball analogy where he said, in order to you get into the Baseball Hall of Fame by making 1 out of 3, hitting the ball 1 out of 3 times. And that's so, so true. And we've had a number of different leaders talk to us about that. The reality of this business, people may talk about a high failure rate in the restaurant business, but it's a training ground. It gets you to prove your stripes and dust yourself back up and get back in the game. And we've known a lot of folks who actually do that, who come back to us and buy their second or third restaurant. Maybe the first one didn't work. Maybe the second one was gangbusters. And maybe the third one now they're like, woo, got to dump this and go again. But they're so willing, they're so passionate and ready to get back in there and do it one more time.
Yeah, and since Mike was a baseball player and a great leader, obviously, I think something also that I kind of take away that some of our listeners that are leaders in their restaurants should be on the lookout is Mike's probably, as a baseball player, was always on the lookout for a curveball. And he probably is looking today, when he looks at deals for the curveball. So as an owner-operator, manager of a restaurant today, always look out for that curveball. Be ready for it because you don't know when it's coming. But if it's coming, you have to be able to hit it or defend against it. And every day, whether it's somebody not showing up at your restaurant, whether it's, food costs going up, whether it's, POS going down, whatever the curveball of the day, it will be one every day. Be ready for it. And like Robin said, if you can hit 1 out of 3, sometimes you still are a superstar. Do not forget that.
And I really am intrigued. I wish there was some great model out there where you could say, take these types of leaders and segregate them, and what is it that separates them? One word we hear again and again, passion. It's not necessarily experience. Sometimes it is the ability to fail, because it's not just this guest who said that sometimes you have to fail to ultimately succeed. But, what is that secret recipe? Is it that person that you bring on board? There is a lot to take away, and some truly great insight is just to read the memoirs, autobiographies, or articles, interviews, listen to shows like this with great leaders and see what it is that they're willing to share. Because I would say one hallmark of many of the great leaders that we've interviewed on this show and come in contact with in our travels over the years as restaurant brokers is that it's a very caring and a very sharing